First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Just let me know, Andrew. I'm here for you.
I will take care of you.
Stefan, you know the county executive. Stefan.
County executive, we actually had a breaking exclusive news story here this morning that Stefan may be interested in seeking political office.
I heard it, and we talked. I heard that.
So I think he should go for it, and I think if the Board of Elections doesn't get back to you, we'll try to intervene on your behalf.
That's confusing. We got to find out why they didn't get back.
Yeah. If you could get even tighter on that microphone
there.
We go. We were just talking about. Actually, I got to tell you, there have been some years on that Common Council where things have been very entertaining. And I do not feel that it would be out of the norm if you take collectively the last 50 years. It would be out of the norm for Stefan to be on the Common Council. I'm just telling you.
But do you remember? You and I are around almost the same age. But I mean, remember the Ed Hanna days?
I do.
Remember his coined phrase for them?
What did he call
for
them?
the council members?
When this goes back to his time in the 70s, and he referred to them as the comedy council. The Utica Comedy Council.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that's
what he referred to.
It's very funny, but I'm not sure. I got to talk and make sure that I'm okay to reveal. But someone gave me, and I'm going through it.
Oh yes,
someone gave me an entire box of Ed Hanna. One might call it memorabilia. I call it gold. It is a stack this big of memos.
I can only imagine.
It's a book books that he put together that were basically scrapbooks that are all about.
Is it from his first time or second time? Or
it's
both?
It's
a combination.
Okay. It's mainly from the later years, but it also comes
memoir
with a huge bag of cassette tapes of his radio shows.
Oh, I forgot about
that.
I forgot the radio shows.
Gold and video of those programs as well, and stuff on TV. And this might be the greatest thing ever given to me.
Okay. Right.
So we'll see. All right, but I wanted to talk about you said there's a change. I'm not for half these state requirements, but this one I will tell you that I am for, and I'll explain why. Okay. But explain what happened here.
Well, no, we have our website, our
your website,
our emails, all of our county emails are listed at ocgov.net, and they have been that way since even before I was. County executive
and big stuff like during COVID.
That's our main website is ocgov.net.
So but the state came in with a new mandate.
State put a mandate in that everybody go to .gov.
Oh, I thought it was all websites had to be electric. No, that's
not electric.
Yes.
No. They have to be electric if they're in your kitchen.
Right.
I'm for this because
what is the difference if it's
it's a huge difference.
.net?
It's a huge difference. If I go to a .gov website or a .gov email, I know absolutely that it is official because you cannot just get a .gov.
Right.
You have to go through paperwork and the whole nine yards to get that. Where it gets crazy is like a
.com, .net.
.net. Any of that stuff could be imposters.
Well, and
that's very...
And part of, I remember when actually Joe was county executive at the time, Senator Griffith was county executive, and he shortened it because it would, make it easy for people, which made sense, ocgov.net. Now, the problem comes because there are other counties that begin with O. And there's Onondaga, there's Ontario, there's Oneida. And so, you have to be careful about how you do it. So that's why we have to spell out Oneida County New York,
Well,
and Oneida County NY.gov.
In a perfect world, this would not be an issue.
No.
But today, I'm telling you, I've already had 3 phone calls. Someone's trying to get in on Facebook. We get these emails all the time, and the only thing that we currently have that can give us some sense of comfort clicking on something is when you see that .gov and it doesn't go anywhere else, right? Because there are a lot of scammers out there.
There are.
Yeah, terrible. All right, what else, Andrew? You throw the topics out, and I'll just sit here.
Well, one good thing is, the parking garage is up and running.
Yes, it is.
The new fee structure has kicked in
to an
extent. I'm sure people are no complaints yet. Or?
No, well, there are. I mean, the complaints are coming at least, from this sense of people not knowing what it is, thinking that everybody pays. The hospital visitors do not.
This has been missed through all of this.
This has been missed. And I wanted to clarify that today. I mean, because there is a parking fee structure after 2 hours. First 2 hours free if you're not in the hospital or visiting the hospital.
Every time I've seen this reported on,
right.
the part about if you're a patient or a visitor, you can get your ticket stamped and validated,
and then you don't pay,
and it's free. That should be the lead. I hate to say it,
and that has been. We've stated all along that the hospital, and that was one of the things the hospital insisted we talked about, that they didn't want their visitors or their patients or whatever to pay, because they didn't pay at St. Luke's, they didn't pay at St. Elizabeth's over the years, so they wanted to do that again, and that's fine. We instituted the payment after the first 2 hours, just so we didn't get stacked up there. And people didn't
just leave
right.
Their
and people
there.
that did not work either in the hospital or were visiting the hospital would just leave their cars there all day.
So if you go to the Odd and you come out and it's an hour and 58 minutes,
right,
you don't pay.
You don't pay.
I'm going to start leaving the games early.
Well, that was a good one.
Anything to save a buck.
There you go.
There we are. There's got to be a way. The reality is, if you're parking in that garage, you're parking there for convenience.
You are.
And how much is it?
$2 an hour.
Yeah. To me, that's after the first 2 hours.
It's after the first 2 hours.
So if you're there for 3 hours, you're paying $2. Right. Yeah.
And look, you've been at other hospitals. You know what they charge in those parking lots and garages.
I do.
Very few. Yeah. I have not seen a hospital in which, at least visited one outside of the area, in which it's free. I mean, usually there's always some kind of
$2 Fridays at Roswell in Buffalo. I can tell you about that.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're spending $4 or $5 to park. So.
Right.
So they're all charging. And you can't get your ticket validated there. Everybody pays, even the employees, because I heard nurses, they enjoyed the fact that today's a big day because we only pay $2 for parking.
Really, that's interesting.
They pay to park. Their staff pays.
That's interesting.
Which might mean they don't own the garage. I don't know, but
Could
either way, I have Richard with a question for you. Richard, you're on with the county executive. Good morning.
Yes, I don't know if you've discussed this previously, but I was just curious. You're talking about the exit 31 to make it flow easier. Mm-hmm. I was just wondering, what is the person or whoever put it together? Why do they have 2 lanes merging off the exit onto a major road? Why did they develop it to have 2 merging lanes?
I mean, currently or in the new plans?
No, they just remodeled that down there, and they put 2 lanes.
That's a temporary remodel, though.
Right. That's a temporary remodel.
That's temporary.
That's temporary. Spent all that time on that, and it's only going to be.
It is because the exit is not done. It's obviously not done. There's still a lot of design. We held a meeting.
So the plan is not complete.
The plan is not complete. There are different proposals about how the exit will be structured in the future. There's no question that the exit needs to be redesigned, because it is, even given this temporary setup, it is.
Even if it's
confusing.
Temporary, why would you put 2 arrows? That is just waiting for an accident to happen. There's 2 arrows merging onto Genesee Street. Why would you? From the New York State Thruway, you get off and there are 2 lanes that go on to Genesee Street with 2 arrows. Right now, they've got it blocked off. But the idea is it looks like they're planning on having 2 merging.
Well, because part of the reason is they're going to be replacing that bridge, and that's still going to be in another different setup.
When's the bridge going?
It should be being worked on,
and that's the state work.
Soon. That's state. That's state DOT. Because there are 2 different structures. I mean, it's very confusing at that exit, which is a reason for.
This is when you get off the throughway. You're going off, North Genesee Street.
But the overpasses too, because there is a throughway overpass. There's a state DOT overpass. So both they're just different governmental jurisdictions that oversee those. That area because of the roadways and the way they.
I hope at the end of the day, when this is over, hold on, Richard, and I'll let you go. But I hope at the end of the day, when you get off the exit, you will not have to go around by the grocery store to get on 49.
Get back on 49.
Yeah, I mean, it should go straight through.
Those are all the things.
Which is all the connectors. Then.
Those are all the things that I mean. There are different roadways there. They're trying to connect. You're trying to connect to Route 12. You're trying to connect to North Genesee, South Genesee.
I mean, you have to 49, go down and see it. And maybe we're not talking about the same thing. It's very bizarre. I mean, they just spent all that time working on the drains and everything, and now there's 2 arrows merging onto Genesee Street. It's going to be interesting to see what their plans are. I just don't know if you. It's really going to create a hazard. But
all right, Richard. All right. Let's see what it ends up with.
Get a better answer.
I thank you, Richard. What I'm happy about is if you're on, what is the road? Is it Middle Settlement? What's the road over there by the old Zeb's?
Yeah, Middle Settlement.
Middle Settlement. So if I'm coming from Clinton Road, and I want to go over to Adam Ellis's for my chiropractor appointment, I do this every week, and I come across there, I get into that left lane, and the stoplight to turn left was over in the other lane to the right. So I would sit there, and there'd be someone, usually a poor old lady, who's waiting for the light to somehow appear, because there was no light.
No light there.
But they move. I've complained about this for 10 years. They
finally listened to you.
It's corrected.
There you go.
There's a light right there now. I haven't seen an old lady stuck there in weeks.
How awesome. Wonderful. Yeah. Lance and Lee, of course, always talking here. Good morning, Lance. The only ones who park for free in Syracuse are outpatients. He should follow the same path. Too many cheapskates in this area.
Well, as I said, in Roswell, they all pay.
Yeah.
So everybody pays.
One of the other things we do want to touch on while we still have the time is the annual Christmas drive that's kicking off or will kick off today to benefit connected community schools.
Yeah, every year, over my time, every year we have instituted some various holiday giveaways, like you do for the station,
you're right by the Utica-Mac truck and the sheriff departments,
like different organizations, and the Oneida County workforce. Obviously, they're very dedicated, and they deal with people every day in need.
Yeah.
And so, every year we try to pick another group that we work closely with, and we've done this over the past dozen plus years, and so this year it's community connected schools in Rome that we worked very closely with. We partnered with in their new setup. They're in the old city hall in Rome. I don't know if you've seen it, Bill. It's a beautiful restored building in which they have classrooms and different setups for after school activities and other needs for the students. But they were really instrumental with us during the tornado, helping feed people and getting kids active at that time. And so we've chosen them as the charity of choice this year for our employees to donate. And so they will for over the next few weeks as we head into Christmas. And it's really a nice. Another nice piece. There's so many great organizations. You try to pick and choose. It's tough, but everybody has been, doing different things, and so we want to be a part of that too.
Nice,
and have been.
Deeds in New Hartford, fair deal on the parking garage. Well, and I think it is.
You know what it is to park the airport for 4 days, or any other big parking garage, or
Park and Fly.
New York City.
Park and Fly. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
pay $100, and otherwise you come back after a week. You got a $200 bill.
4 days. You're like, wow.
When my father-in-law had surgery in New York City and New York Presbyterian, and the valet parking for the day was like,
it's unbelievable.
40. We were there not overnight, but
it's like $40 a day.
$46, $52 then. Yeah. I mean, that was 6 years ago or better.
I had, when we moved my daughter, and we made the huge mistake of taking a U-Haul down, and we were spending the weekend, and I had to find a place to park that U-Haul. Do you know there's no place in New York City to park a U-Haul?
Exactly.
Luckily, I found a spot, and I literally parallel parked this thing.
Oh boy!
And the hotel bellhop was directing me in, and I only knew to stop when he yelled, "You're hitting the car behind you!" And so
you didn't have one of those black rubber bumper things on the car. It
did, and that's the only thing that saved me. So
we have another announcement today. I just teased with Broadway Utica doing some things for the kids in Oneida County at the schools for the week of the 16th. So
what's the big announcement? There's a big announcement. Comets and Pioneers on Monday.
Davey was trying to pump me on it.
Yeah,
trying to get it out of you.
Trying to get it out of me.
I have 1 minute left. I'm going to ask you: is there something going on in Notre Dame?
At Notre Dame,
I'm just hearing that there's some movement happening at Notre Dame.
Positive.
I would say some would see it that way.
Yeah, positive. Well, hopefully, Notre Dame. Look, I'm a Notre Dame grad as well, and so that's an important. And it's an important. I think it's an important part of this community too. I think and look, whether it's I know they're not everybody's Catholic out there, but a Catholic education is important, and having that. That ability to have a school, because we used to have a couple of them.
Yeah.
And now
a lot of them.
And it's down to just one, really.
Yeah.
And so it's important, and as a graduate and alumni, I mean, it's really important. So hopefully that Notre Dame has been doing some different things over the last several years. Hopefully they can get on their feet and continue.
We'll keep an eye on it. Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.